How's it going, guys? On today's video, I want to talk about Destiny 2. Destiny 2. It's been consuming my life. I have logged many an hour with the game, and I want to give my thoughts in just a brutally honest video. I didn't love Destiny 1, and I've made this clear a few times. It almost felt like almost a slap on the face, right? It's obviously a very drastic thing to say, but it came from Bungie, right? And Bungie creating this new universe and finally designing what they wanted, right? And I love Bungie, I grew up with Bungie, and without Bungie, I would not be where I am today. So they mean a lot to me. So I had very high hopes for Destiny 1. It just didn't live up to it for me. Very, very quickly, in mere hours, I honestly felt like I pretty much did all you could do in the game. Sure, there were little things here and there, the raid and such, which, don't get me wrong, was great. I think the Vault of Glass is still the best raid, even compared to the new raid in Destiny 2. But it just didn't do it for me. I didn't like the PvP. I thought it was pretty bad in Destiny 1. So Destiny 2 is another story. They had the chance to redeem themselves and build upon what they created and just make it better. What I've been liking to tell people is that Destiny 2 is essentially Destiny 1. And Destiny 1 is Destiny 0.5. Destiny 1 felt like it was getting there. It wasn't ready. It didn't have enough. The ideas needed to get into place. Bungie needed to figure out what they were making. They needed to understand the universe and the game they were creating for Destiny 2 to happen. But it still doesn't feel like a sequel in that sense, right? It doesn't feel like, whoa, this is a huge, crazy, different thing with tons of different stuff, which isn't inherently bad, because you see, there are really only two ways you can go, right? Either you pull a Halo, where like every game is, for the most part, pretty drastically different, and huge mechanic changes, and huge visual changes, or you build upon what you already have, and make a more traditional sequel in that sense. Video games are interesting like that, right? In theory, games will always get better as they go. Obviously, it's kind of a hard blanket statement to make, but compared to movies, compared to most other mediums, that is true, right? Your chances are you're going to get improved controls, you're going to get improved graphics, right? Like the basic stuff is almost always going to be better. And yeah, Destiny 2, when it comes to the basic stuff, again, graphics, control, basic gameplay, way better than Destiny 1. Way, 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 way better. I have had a lot of fun with it, and I'm very much itching to play it right now. Like, I just want to get in, I just want to mess around. And I still haven't beaten all the little side quests that are all over the place. I keep getting distracted, especially my first run through there. Playing campaign, I would just stop, and there'd be a heroic event, I'd be like, fine, I'll do this heroic event. But there's a lost sector there, I gotta go do that. It'll be quick. And then there's another heroic event, and you lose yourself in it. It took me a while to even beat the campaign because of that. Campaign-wise, I think the game, it was very safe. It pulled a Force Awakens on us, in the sense that it was just like, let's just be the safest movie ever. It was, derivative of Star Wars, the typical, he was literally, Gaul is like Darth Vader, right? He's just this menacing, like I almost expected to hear that every time he came on screen, just this breathing and the ominous music, and I thought it was good. I thought it was well done that they went that way, because if they went anything too kind of crazy and out there, it might not have worked, and that would lead to more insulting the story, and you can't really say that anymore. The whole joke, which even I made, which I still think is true, that Destiny 1 had no story, because it really didn't, and don't at me about all the grimoire stuff. Like, you can't, no, that doesn't count. That's like saying you watch the Star Wars movie, but you also got to read all the books, and then that's the story, right? Like, you can't do that. It has to be self-contained, right? Like, don't get me wrong again, I love that you can have the option to expand more lore, and sure, I would love to have that option again, to like throw more tidbits out there for us to read about. But you got to have story in the game. And Destiny 2 did that, again, very, very safely, with the typical, you got a big bad guy, and he wants to take the power, and we still don't know what the Traveler really is, and I'm afraid we never will. That's one of my big concerns with the Destiny story, is that I like the mystery of it. I think that's kind of cool, but I want to know what the Traveler is. I don't know if we're ever going to get there. I thought we'd at least start dabbling in what the Traveler is and where it came from and all that. Maybe we'll learn something with this like upcoming raid and DLC and stuff. I don't know. You could argue that's a creative choice or whatever, but I don't even know if they know. I want to at least be teased as to what it is. It seems too much in the universe of Destiny is thrown away to, well, space magic. Which is fair. I mean, that's a really easy way to get out of it. It's to get out of everything, really. Well, how come... Well, space magic. You can explain away everything with space magic. Which is neat. But, you know, some of us want to figure something. I want some logic there. It upsets me. I like the transitions. I like seeing that symbol. It was like, oh, that cool kind of... It reminded me of original Star Wars movies with the... You know, the wipes and stuff, like just kind of like a, almost, it's funny because it's almost a jarring film technique, but yet it works. Like it almost adds this, you know, it's like a smirk, right? I feel like, again, like it feels like a big nod to Star Wars when they do that logo comes on the screen. It's like, oh, we're about to get some evil exposition here. I thought that was kind of neat, little neat idea. That's enough about story, I think. I think that pretty much covers it, is that it was safe. I'm glad they did it. I'm glad there was a story. And yeah, I am interested in hearing more. Gameplay, I think, is quite solid. It just improved upon the foundations of Destiny 1, which was pretty solid. They made it better, obviously. They just improved upon almost everything. I like how the weapons work. PvP, I can actually play, and I actually enjoy playing. I don't think once did I love PvP in Destiny 1 for a variety of reasons. It was unbalanced. It was a nightmare. You know, I'm spoiled by Halo, and that's no secret in that. And say what you want about Halo, but it's arguably the pinnacle of balanced starts. Well, now, like modern Halo at least, right? There were times there in the KOF Halo Reach and such that are like, what? You can spawn with loadouts and stuff. Like, I love those even starts. It's all about map control, and that's, so yeah, no, I like it. And I love the competitive game modes, and I had a really good time in Trials. Trials is super hardcore. But it's good to know that as a not really Destiny player, as someone who slept on a lot of Destiny 1, that I can come in with a coordinated team of, you know, skilled, but not necessarily the best of the best, and we can clean up, and we can win back to back to back, all on strategy, right? All on being like, okay, we're gonna let them come to us, we're gonna take it slow, and there was a lot of strategy that really worked out, and I commend Bungie and the PvP Crucible team for figuring that out, because it's fun now. And I think that's a big thing for me, because a lot of stuff in Destiny, especially when you exhaust all the PvE stuff, you want to try something a little harder, a little more hardcore. Crucible's great for that. So it's great that I enjoy it now, and it's a nice thing now. In terms of how much you can do in Destiny, it still feels like there's a lot. Again, I still haven't beaten everything. There's still a lot for me to do. I'm still enjoying exploring. I feel Titan feels too small. It almost had to. Just because of the nature of the world, that you're just like on ships floating in the water. I'd like to see that more. I could even see if they were going to expand upon an area, that would be one of the easiest to expand upon, because it's just like, oh, throw another boat in there, right? Titan's a good example of, there are some side areas in Titan that if you go exploring on your own, they're gorgeous. And you only really go there if you're doing a strike, which I think Destiny 1 actually had a similar problem, where some of my favorite areas you didn't really do anything in. Or you visited once and you ran past it. And there's some gorgeous areas, Titan especially, like inside the ship and all the, the Arboretum area. It's gorgeous. And, you have like a mini fight there and then it's gone. So I'd love to see those places utilized more and more missions and strikes and such. Let's talk about the raid. I had a blast with the raid. So I assembled a team and we went into the raid blind. We didn't know. I saw nothing about the raid. I didn't even see any images. I saw nothing. We went in, most of our team was like that. We occasionally swapped in a team member who knew something about the raid or maybe watched a bit of a stream but only knew parts, and even still, they weren't necessarily the best player in the world, so it didn't really matter. We still figured out our own strategies as we went, and I think we figured out almost all of it, almost the entire raid, and this is going to be a slightly spoiler if you still don't want to know anything about the raid, so just like skip ahead like 20 seconds if you don't want to hear this, but there's a point in the raid, the only thing I found counterintuitive in the entire raid was the gauntlet, when you have to shoot the arrows. You shoot there's 3 arrows, and you gotta shoot them to let a guy through a gate. You have to shoot the opposite arrows that he tells you to, which was just super counterintuitive. That puzzle specifically felt like it was just like, hey, how do we challenge them? And they won't be able to figure it out, right? And I know someone's going to argue with me like, oh, well, it's a natural next step that you try what he says and then you try something else. I don't think so. I think for how much good the raid did, I really enjoyed the bathhouse. I found that my favorite part, actually. I thought it was very skill-based. You just had to hold off. You had to be strong. You also had to move a bit, but not too much. There's little puzzle elements, but you kind of, it was self-explanatory, right? It very much made sense when you got to that point where that gauntlet section, the worst part of the raid, I think. Otherwise, it was very fun. I had a lot of fun. I enjoyed the final boss battle. It took us 12 hours blind. Worth. I can't believe we played for 12 hours straight, but it was very worth it, and I enjoyed my time because of that. And it's really hard for people to do that because you're going to want to look up guides, you're going to want to do stuff. But if for some reason you're watching this and you haven't done the raid yet and you haven't looked up anything, don't do it. I recommend going. It might take you for like 12 hours, but it was worth it, and it was fun. And you can always just be like, I'm totally stuck. Look online for a guide and only look at that part and then go on. But I enjoyed it. I would almost tie it with Vault of Glass, and it's hard to decide if maybe Vault of Glass, you know, I have those rose-tinted glasses. That was the first raid. It was so special. It was so much anticipation, and we're all so excited about it. But it was a good raid. I thought it had very nice elements, and it was definitely way more, almost more skill-based than even this raid. I want more of the bathhouse, more fighting. Your weapons matter. Your coordination matters. You don't necessarily always need to be talking to your teammates, right? You're just kind of fighting, and like, we need some more fighting in the raids and less of the pleasure gardens, because those were the least pleasurable thing I've experienced in gaming in a long time. Moses. It was like RNG. RNG does not belong in a raid, right? Like that. It's all the coordination, and oh, that was a very frustrating section, but I'm glad we beat it. I'm pretty much at the end here of everything you can do currently in Destiny. I hit the point where I'm like 390 something is my light level or power level or whatever the balls you call it now. I don't really have a need to keep going. I probably will. I'll probably hop on and dabble a little bit here and there. And I wouldn't mind running some trials again with some people because it was a lot of fun. So I'm interested to see how they can keep bringing me back in, because this was certainly a problem Destiny 1 had, which was just the longevity, right? And getting people to continue playing and have it not feel too grindy. Luckily, I feel like Destiny 2 did a very good job of this so far. As far as I can tell, a lot better job in terms of grinding things out than Destiny 1 did. But it's going to get to the point here where there's only like 2 activities you can even do, which is like the raid and like trials or something. So I really hope they make getting loot and such viable at a high level via a multitude of activities. Otherwise, people like me are going to fall off and not play anymore, because it's just a grind. And I'll go back to playing PUBG, which is good. Final verdict. Destiny 2 is a very good game. I really like it. There certainly, it feels like Bungie's back. There feels like there's a passion there that didn't exist in Destiny 1, or was somehow stripped, or there wasn't enough time for it, or something. Something was missing there. And that passion feels back in Destiny 2, and you can see it in the community members. You can see it in the Bungie team. So I really hope they can keep this going, keep the momentum, and keep fostering a fantastic community. I legitimately believe the Destiny community is one of the coolest gaming communities on the entire internet, and the Halo community should look to them for inspiration. Yeah, I said it. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you enjoy videos like this, be sure to hit the like button. It helps a lot. Subscribe if you're not already, because I don't really post here that much, but I want to more. And every little thing, every comment, every like, right, that supports me. And if you prove to me that these kind of videos are awesome and you enjoy them, I'll do more. See you guys on the battlefield, out there on the world, the Titan, on around the Traveler. Something I totally forgot to mention, spoilers right now, very final, like stop the video right now. This is the most spoilery part of the entire video. I found it very, very cool that you got that like tower-ish section back, the city part that you thought was all gone, was destroyed, you wouldn't go back, and you thought the farm was the end of it, right? Like, oh, we're gonna be on the farm now, and then, oh wow, wait a minute, it's back. And I wasn't spoiled on that, and it was very exciting to see that city section come back. It was really cool, and that was a big surprise, and it brought a big smile to my face. I thought that was cool. That being said, I thought it was very lame how it felt like the story was based on you being weak and trying to get your powers back, and then like within a mission, your powers are back. Like, oh, JK, I'm awesome. Probably my only beef with the story. That could have been drawn out like halfway through or something. Like, oh yeah, now I got my, I don't know. It's also a game mechanic issue. Anywho, thanks for watching again. Bye. Bye.